Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Connection Diary. I'm Robin Anselmi, and I can't tell you how excited I am about this conversation. I am delighted, thrilled, overjoyed to introduce to all of you my friend and colleague, Michelle Wonsley, who's going to be joining Conversant, has joined Conversant as the Global Practice Lead of Inclusive Leadership Design. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Robin. It's super great to be here.
I'd love for you to share just a little bit about you and what has you arrive at this moment in time to be here in this orbit with us?
Sure. I arrive at this moment as someone who spent, the entirety of my professional career just wrapped up in questions around work and around labor and around employment and jobs, and was, sort of fortunate, I suppose, in a way, to begin my career shortly before 9/11. And that sort of, unbeknownst to me at the time, created this frame for me where I really began my career with that question of what is the distinction between our work and our job. And every place I've been since then, that's always sort of been running in the background, kind of like a ticker. There is the work that is before us in terms of the bullet points that make up our job description and whatever the institutional organizational charge might be. And then there are the sort of, to me, bigger, broader, more universal questions around what is our work? What is my work as an individual? And does the answer to that question change over time? And so, sort of running on these parallel tracks have been, these questions of what is my work and who am I as I'm doing it? And how I arrive at Conversant in this moment is just what feels like a convergence of, Zora Neale Hurston says there are years that ask questions and years that answer. And I feel like I'm arriving at Conversant in a year that will answer some of these questions. So
beautiful. Roger and I were with a client last week based out of France and another colleague based out of Brazil. And they said that in both French and Portuguese, the root of the word work in those languages is the name of a torture device.
Huh.
So that could be that may be a whole episode to come, because I think we are here to reinvigorate and rehabilitate that notion of joy in work. So thank you for
and frankly, probably reframe it. I mean, there's no denying how the sort of terrain of work has changed so significantly. We can say in the last few decades, but frankly, we could say in the last 2 years. And I think that we collectively are arriving at a point where we have to be able to transparently interrogate what work means and what it means to institutions and what it means to individuals, and whether or not there has been, and can be alignment there.
Yeah. I think for me, you also arrive at a moment in time where we have said connected leadership is inclusive leadership. And I know we don't know yet exactly where this work is going to head, that this is emergent. It's something that we are working on together. Mm-hmm. But from where you sit right this moment, what do you imagine inclusive leadership design is going to entail? What might people expect sort of in the coming months from us as we begin this exploration?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, reflecting on kind of the very fraught history of work in this country, if we think about, Conversant is a global firm, but if we were to narrow our focus for a moment to the United States construct, work is a fraught topic. Its roots, its evolution, its nature across industries, I think what has been lacking really transparently from these conversations is how individuals show up in work. And not just in terms of the things that they've been vetted for as part of the hiring process, right? Not their skills or their competencies or their experience, but really just, their way of being, their values, their beliefs, who they are in the world, the bodies in which they inhabit, and how the world acts on those bodies and how they experience the world through those bodies, right? And so now I'm talking about identity. And I think when we're talking about connected leadership, we can't have real conversations around what it means to connect with other people if we don't know who we are and we don't have curiosity around who others are. And so I think where inclusive leadership design is headed, specifically Conversant, is an exploration of identity. It's an exploration of power as connected to identity. It's an exploration of, how we create our work world together through the lenses of who we are and how we come to the conversation. We've got a number of frameworks that we use at Conversant that really hinge on our ability to sort of locate ourselves, so to speak, or situate ourselves in a larger context of the world. And if we think that we somehow check those things at the door when we come to work, if we haven't had a wake-up call socially, politically, collectively in recent years, then I don't know when that sort of consciousness will actually occur.
Well, I learn from you literally every time we're together, and it's so exciting. And I am just cannot wait as we're getting started on this journey together. So thank you for joining and for coming to be part of us. And I speak on behalf of the entire Conversant community to say, yay, Michelle's here.
Well, I echo that yay. And I know that we are going to build really beautiful and transformational things together. So.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you all soon.